Hello darlings, welcome to the channel. My name is Reetta and this is Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1, Onikakushi. Last time we met with the main cast and now I feel that the actual story is about to kick in. There's a very good horror anime based on this game on Netflix. I recommend you go and check that out as well. And let's get back to the game. There seemed to be different cliques even within the class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different and we had both boys and girls, but we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Rena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well. Kiechii-kun, hurry! Rena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes. Kiechii-chan's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crusts like some sort of destitute plebeian. Why didn't you just show it to us? Come on! Even though Sadako was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting.
Well then, Representative Me, please give the signal to start.
At first, this was kinda embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends. Let's eat! The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course, there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected after all. I'm fucking handsome. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch. My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today? My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked into a cross-counter, stabbing into each other's lunches. My, how delicious! Oh, this tara is good. The stewed stuff is good too. Even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile.
I saved some from dinner last night.
By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too? These taste like mom's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold, they were done by hand with a knife. That's not easy to do. I guess Rika-chan is just good at this sort of thing. She's really good at sewing, laundry and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing! Rika is quite exceptional in many ways. That's nothing for you to boast about.
Rena's actually better at cooking than I am.
It's really hard to know which one is talking. Well, you know... It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Rena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Rena's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, but it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunchbox constantly. Everyone liked this one so much before, so I met a lot this time. It's good, I hope. It's got high marks from me. Oh, Mion, you're taking too much. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time, and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled a mouthful after a mouthful while praising it, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kinda bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena, but Rena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on.
How did you like it? Isn't Rena-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Kiechii-san.
I said that's nothing for you to boast about. You're not much different from Kiechii-chan, Satoko. Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet? Satoko's face went pale.
Hey! Even I can tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know?
Of course I can. I really can. It's really hard for her to lie.
Kiechii-kun, both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Me-chan too.
Rena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko.
Well, just pretend it's a little home ec lesson.
Now then, Satoko.
What's this?
Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon.
But that's an asparagus.
Mion made eye contact with me, and within 0.3 seconds, I had Rika-chan's mouth covered, holding a piece of bacon-wrapped asparagus and giving her two choices. She's pretty terrible.
The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait, the green one is cauliflower.
So which, huh?
Probably the yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower, but the green one is,
You really know which is which? How about you just give up? I'd expect no less from the class representative, the oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonosaki household must be quite the ordeal.
I do know! I really do!
Then answer the question!
I know!
She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age.
Cute!
Rena entered the state of euphoria, as Sadako bawled her eyes out. Rena was in a state of bliss when she rubbed her cheeks against Sadako's head and smothered her. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile.
Rena, Mimi is picking on me. Oh, cute. It's okay, Rena. Oni-chan will take care of all these bad people who tease my little sister.
Swish, woof, bam, okay. It was like a flash of lightning. What was that just now? Both of Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speeds, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces. This is the first time you've gotten one, right? Today she went easy on us. Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both slumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena.
See, Chataka-chan? I took care of them. Cute. I wanna take you home.
Making sure Rena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word.
Bling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance.
Hey, Kiechii-kun, tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Or anything?
Huh? It was such a direct question from Rena, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Rena saw me lost for words and realized that I'd misunderstood and turned red as well.
No, I didn't mean it like that. You see...
So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Rena is in panic, I went along with it a little. Oh, really? So it wasn't meant that way? Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection.
Kiechii-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Me-chan!
Unable to hold it in any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see. This old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that.
Huh? What is it?
Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach, while Rena flailing around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Rena's hair. Kidding. Sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one.
Huh? A joke? Since when? Since when?
About halfway through.
Halfway? So, Kiechii-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start.
That means... I was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Oh, well, you see... Oh, shit, what did happen? Why did it happen? Saying nothing more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. So, why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Rena?
Huh? Oh,
What were we talking about? It had been so long that Rena had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me.
It's just... Kiechii-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you?
That was true. I had to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times, like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school.
Yes, so, you see, tomorrow we were thinking that Me-chan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around.
That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front.
Kiechii-kun, you're not free, perhaps? Mayhaps.
While Mion and I had our rather sour back and forth, Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me, I apologize. I'm free.
Great!
The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Rena, isn't there? It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Rena. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Rena forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Rena. Maybe it should just be the 2 of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind.
Huh? Whoa! If Kiechii-kun is okay with that, then... I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't you ignore me, Kiechii, my bara.
It would be great if the 2 of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Rena?
If I were bringing a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe.
Don't you ignore me too, Rena. I'll tell everyone that you 2 disappeared into a hotel district together.
Okay. Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow is going to be so fun. Later, Kiechii-kun, Me-chan, bye.
Rena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me, standing next to Mion, sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. You alright? There was 2 meters between you guys.
Since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it.
Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her need, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Rena. You need to train up and have a rematch.
Kiechii, you should. This old geezer will root for you.
Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible techniques. Oh. Okay. A cutscene? You have received new tips. We are a mixed grade. We don't have a uniform. Wait, what? We don't have uniform. What is it with the tip thingy? It's only June, but it's already so hot. I could hear the Higurashi outside chirping, me, and at night there were mosquitoes. It might as well be summer already. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool.
Summer, I do declare.
Satoko was flipping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she still was a girl.
Kiechii does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous.
From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you would just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans during this season and how steamy the crotch gets.
It gets steamy. How?
This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Rena's summer clothes have a nice refreshing color.
I feel cooler just looking at them. Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. I wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rena's.
But Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute, being a one piece and all. Oh no, wait, that's Rena talking.
I'd like to wear your summer clothes. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe that what you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much fun with cute clothes.
I had a feeling that Rena and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform.
Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine.
There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same.
That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them.
Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere?
Well, yes, Mion-chan supplied them. Mi-chan's relative runs second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say.
So you ask those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then? That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country.
What the hell is going on with this game? What is wrong with my mouse? God damn it.
That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about?
Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of having used ones.
Doesn't sound like that shop makes a lot of money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more.
But Mion-chan says it'll be a great hit and become a great store. With such conviction.
A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit. I don't get it. And I don't get what... Oh, this was... Yeah, okay. We're in a mixed grade. Okay, I don't want to play that particular... Yeah, continue. But there's something... Apparently, something about the uniforms and... Because I don't think we had that conversation in the previous episode of this game, well, playthrough. I don't remember that, right? So, yeah. I must save real quick. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kiechii, you're late. Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting? Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Last night's episode of Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right. Rena really did make a picnic. Kiechii, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? Alright. I'm a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Responsibility? For what? For what? As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Rena we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess. When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I'd say 5. You're exaggerating. Kiechii-kun is a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Hivo? Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only thing in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help you out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad. Got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mabara-kun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passers-by, even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all the 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everybody knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that Mabara fella who just moved here. Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in a bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as the lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was this old man Takezo from Makina Bike Shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute.
Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography.
You know the names of everyone we passed by, and even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try this out. You there, who am I?
You're Kiechii Maebara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person.
It's been there 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately you switched over to wearing boxers, didn't you? That's enough, that's enough.
Boxers?
Enough of that! Apparently there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was... Okay, there's a typo here. Was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around.
That's right.
We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too?
That's Kiechii is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa.
The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of "you're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who'd just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe that what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course we were called out to again the same way.
Oh my, good day. It's a wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my Maebara-kun, how wonderful for you to have a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here?
Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with emphatic nod. Emphatic. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was.
Good!
As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink.
So now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe?
Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approaching of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can. Because I'm a man. But it's just too much.
It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man.
Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative.
Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go for somewhere with a good view. Why, yes! Good idea, I agree.
Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Cresting the top of the stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
This here is Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around.
This place? Be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here.
Ah,
is it a bit too early in the season for a festival?
The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago it used to be a celebration of the end of winter.
I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer.
Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there.
Various colored lunch boxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, I'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you know.
Good afternoon.
It was Rika-chan and Sadako. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan to power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty.
We just had to come here since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this?
Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena.
I can see that much. Why have you laid out a trap in our property?
The temple is public grounds. It's not yours.
Kiechii is right. This is everyone's property.
Wow, ReettaJ is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for ReettaJ, I promptly turned my back on Satoko.
Hold on 1 second. Where is my spot?
No spot for you and nothing for you to eat.
Don't worry, there is some for you too.
None. I'll eat all of hers.
I will not allow that. Rika!
Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other.
And really, Kiechii, you're really good at leading people on. You might have talent for this. Have a plate, one for me-chan and Rika-chan too.
Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates.
If you don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up.
That's right. Okay, shall we commence this battle?
Please, eat a lot. There's enough for everyone,
Rena said as she opened up the thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different.
I will not allow you to have this hamburger.
Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko.
Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules.
It was a tough battle, blocking her with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand.
Ow, the last meatball!
Satoko Hojo has been bested. Nom! Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that would get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things would stay like this. No, you don't want to say that, my friend. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era?
It seems like that long ago people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then people were busy even while eating and didn't have the time to complement the flavor.
That's just you.
But, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean.
She blushed a little as she said that.
It was delicious.
With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. Huh? After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof.
Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious.
Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it.
To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special.
2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them toward Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way.
What is it, Sadako? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rena-chan? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Well then, allow me to show you. After Sadako flashed Mion and me with a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey, so Rena Anichan's lunch? Sadako thought it was yummy too. Sadako looked up at her pouty while talking Kiechii. Wow, how was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Rena limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena. Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena clumped Sadako and began rubbing her cheek against hers. Cute! Sadako is so cute! Take you home! Swish. Stab. Push. Sadako was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair, to think she had such a trick. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rena-san with some praise? Damn it! That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even a praise. Sadako, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kiechan is going to be the one who does it. Wow! Why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat, Sadako. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No, actually, almost all of it was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I? From the synergy of boy plus a handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Oh. Rena turned an even deeper shade of red, the words, "I can't believe it," practically written on her face. How can you tell? How? That I made it. Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a bit. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, frozen solid. With a small yelp, Sadako also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Sadako, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please eat some, Kiechii-kun. There's plenty for you. Instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Oh, okay. Say Kiechii-kun. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing one apple after another. How about them holes? How about them apples, Sadako? Looks like we win. Kiechan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Sadako? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it! Such trickery! It doesn't bother me at all. Sadako ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me.
Something weird happened with the text there. I'm really sorry, I didn't have time to read it. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. "Rika-chan, you're not eating it. Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Maybe?" Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it onto her cupped hands, and seemed to be at loss for what to do.
Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I want to save him.
Pui! That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose.
Cute! Tonight I will take you home.
She shook sporadically her head, wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, 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 and fixed them back up on a plate.
Now they're all just fine, okay? Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan, okay? Okay?
Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbits shoved to her. She whispered,
"This is our victory."
"What? A comeback?" I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Okay, that was wholesome and lovely. Though I don't know where what's with the blue overlays every once in a while. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena, Kiechii, see you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time.
See you tomorrow.
Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended with just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home.
Thanks for coming today, Kiechii-kun. It was fun. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was. Lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now.
Ah, then, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? Maybe?
A detour? Is it far?
It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long.
Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. Okay, that was a long transition. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like to be the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper.
Oh, it's been quite a while. I wonder what's here.
When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile?
It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasures.
Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here?
Whoa, a new pile! I can't wait.
She bounded up the unstable slope. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming! Ho-ho! My city-raised self was completely pitiful.
It's alright, just stay right there, Kiechii-kun. It won't take long.
Rena kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall! Watch your step.
I'm fine. This is nothing at all.
Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Rena disappeared over to the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, a sudden noise from scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. "Whoa! You surprised me." Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who was surprised here. My bad, my bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad, my bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. So what? You're saying I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, the image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt from being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself. Kiechii-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now. Rena popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Don't know. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if we were talking with Rena and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. Kiechii-kun, sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess. I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Kiechii-kun. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Kiechii-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh, yes! So listen, you see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll. A Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing. Those statues they always have out in front of that fried chicken place. That life-size dummy? Yes! Colonel Sanders. Oh, cute! I want to take it home. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lampposts over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out, to repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today. Oh, thank you! Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us. Kiechii-kun is going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home. Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey Rena. Long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details though. Huh? Just wondering if you knew about it, you know? An accident or something. I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure of that. So you see, I don't really know much from before that. Sorry. Don't really know. Don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Think about it. Of course it would be like that. This wasn't the type of the thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms. If it's just like Tomitake-san said, then I had the feeling only the Higurashi would know. And in this slightly ominous note, I think we will end this episode of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1 again. You have received new tips, the Mahabara Mansion, the Damn Site Murder Dismemberment newspaper edition. So, yeah, I will leave this here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please let me know. Please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for notifications so you'll know when I upload something new. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I will see you again next time.